Dave. You don't want to give it to me, so.
Oh, that one's?
This one, they're all the same.
Now, I think this morning we've got two things coming together. The Phillies are winning and Barack Obama is ready to win. Or we can take a different path, go down a different road. The road to change, the road to hope, and the person who's going to lead us on that road is Barack Obama. There's one candidate who understands what those Americans are up against. There's only one candidate who has a strategy to create jobs, and that's Barack Obama.
I want to thank one of the finest congressmen that we have, and Shaka Fatah is here. I want to thank Congressman Bob Brady for the great work he's doing. My great friend from the United States Senate, Bob Casey. The outstanding mayor of Philadelphia, Mayor Michael Nutter. Best governors in the country. Please give it up for Ed Rendell. Do we have some Phillies fans in the house? The White Sox are gone, so I'll go ahead and root for the Phillies now.
Hey, yo, put that side down, man.
We meet at a moment of great uncertainty. In recent weeks we've seen a growing financial crisis that's threatening not just banks and businesses, but it's affecting you and your economic security as well. It's getting harder to get a loan for a car, or that small business, college that you dreamed of attending. In recent days, millions of Americans have lost more of their investments, their retirement savings as the stock market's gone down. So I know these are difficult times. And I know folks are worried. But I also know now's not the time for fear. Now's not the time for panic. Now's the time for resolve and steady leadership. Because I know we can steer ourselves out of this crisis. This is a nation that's faced down war and Great Depression, great challenges, great threats. We've always seen that mountaintop from the deepest valley. We've have always risen to the moment when the moment was hard. And we can do it again. We can restore confidence in our economy and renew that fundamental belief, Philadelphia, that here in America, our destiny is not written for us, it's written by us. That's what the founding fathers understood. That's what they meant when they declared independence. We have the ability to chart our own destiny. America's home to some of the greatest colleges and universities in the world. We're home of the biggest ideas and the greatest innovations in history that have come from our small businesses. We've got the hardest workers on earth. Folks who work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, then take the last bus home at night because they want something better for their children. No one works harder than the folks here in Philly. The folks here in Pennsylvania. Just ask my friend Joe Biden, he'll tell you. So while it won't be easy, there's no reason we can't make this century another American century. But we're going to need some new leadership. We're going to need to chart a new course. My opponent and I see things a little bit differently. I want to acknowledge that Senator McCain tried to tone down the rhetoric in his town hall meeting yesterday. I appreciated his reminder that we can disagree while still being respectful of each other. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Senator McCain has served this country with honor. He deserves our thanks for that. But when it comes to the economy, that's right, what our families here in Pennsylvania are going through, Senator McCain still doesn't get it. Yesterday, Senator McCain's campaign manager said that Senator McCain wasn't talking about the market because there's not much a candidate for president can say. They aren't sure what he'd say each day, even if he did talk about it.
That's right.
Last week, in the middle of the most serious economic crisis in our time, his campaign announced that they want to turn the page on the discussion about our economy so they can spend the final weeks of this election attacking me instead. They said, and I quote, "If we keep on talking about the economy, we're going to lose." So the last few days we've seen a barrage of nasty insinuations and attacks. And I'm sure we'll see many more over the next 24 days. But here's the thing, Philadelphia. They can run misleading ads. They can pursue the politics of anything goes. They can try to change the subject. But they cannot do what they want to do because the American people understand what's going on. It's not going to work, not this time. The times are too serious, and the challenges are too great. The American people aren't looking for somebody who can divide this country, they're looking for somebody who can lead this country. We cannot afford 4 more years of the economic theory that we give more and more to the millionaires and the billionaires and hope prosperity trickles down on everybody else. It's time to turn the page on the 8 years of economic policy that put Wall Street before Main Street and ended up hurting both. And I was in a small town in Ohio the other day. This was 2 days ago. I was doing a bus tour about jobs in southern Ohio, and I went to a town called Georgetown in Ohio. Probably has a few thousand people. We stopped by a diner. I was with the governor there because I wanted a piece of pie. What kind of pie? Sweet potato pie? They didn't have sweet potato pie. So we ended up, I had some coconut cream pie. The governor had some lemon meringue pie. And the waiters there, they wanted to take a picture with me because they said that the owner was a die-hard Republican. They said, we're going to take this picture so we can give him a hard time. But right as we're taking the picture, the owner walks out. He's got our pie. And he says, here you go, Senator, here's your pie. I said, I hear you're a die-hard Republican. He said, that's right. I said, how's business? He said, not so good. He said, my customers, they don't have any money right now. The economy is so bad, so they can't eat out. They can't buy my pie. So I said, let me ask you something. How long you been a Republican? He said, my whole life. I said, who's in charge of the economy right now?
All right.
He said, the Republicans. I said, if you keep on hitting your head against the wall, at some point you stop and say, this hurts. I guess we should stop. I said, yeah, you might want to think about voting Democratic this time. Because 4 more years of this, that's too much. You should try the Democrats. We can't do any worse. Philly, the American people understand it's time for a change. They know we need policies that grow our economy from the bottom up so that every American, everywhere, has the chance to get ahead. Not just the corporate CEO, but their secretaries too. Not just the person who owns the factory, but the folks who are working on the factory floor. These are the American people that I'm standing with. Those are the folks that I'm fighting for. That's the kind of leadership I'm offering. That's why I'm running for President of the United States. Sophisticated here. So I don't want you guys to be fooled when John McCain and Sarah Palin start stealing. When they start putting on their ads and their signs that we're all about change. You know, change isn't just a slogan. Change isn't just about a few words. Change is an attitude. Change is an understanding of what the American people are going through. So don't fall for that. Don't be hoodwinked. Don't be bamboozled. Don't fall for the okie doke. Rebuilding this economy. We know that it's time to create the good paying jobs of tomorrow. Pennsylvania's hurting. Philadelphia's hurting. Thousands of jobs have been lost this year. Wages are flat. Some folks are losing their job so fast that you can't ask yourself whether you're better off 4 years ago. You got to ask yourself whether you're better off 4 weeks ago. But it doesn't have to be that way. That's why I'm going to stop giving tax breaks to companies that ship jobs overseas. We'll start giving tax breaks to companies that are investing right here in Philadelphia, right here in Pennsylvania. I want to be a president who will put you first. Because I believe in the American people and what we can do together. And if we want to turn this economy around and lead the 21st century, we have to create the high-wage jobs of tomorrow right here in America. So we'll invest $15 billion a year in renewable energy to create 5 million new green jobs over the next decade. Jobs that pay well and can't be outsourced. We'll provide affordable loans to our small businesses. Eliminate their capital gains taxes. Give them tax incentives to create new jobs. That's the change we need. Change means a tax code that doesn't just work for folks at the top, but for all of us. John McCain wants to give $200 billion in tax cuts to the biggest corporations in America. He wants to give $700,000 apiece for the average Fortune 500 CEO. That's not how to grow an economy. I want to give you, the middle class, a tax cut. 95% of all workers will get a tax cut. If you make less than $250,000 a year, how many people make less than $250,000 a year? Most of it. You won't see your taxes increase one dime. Not your payroll tax, not your income tax, not your capital gains tax. Because an economy like this one, the last thing we should do is raise taxes on the middle class. Change means finally fixing our healthcare system. If you've got healthcare, the only thing that's going to change is we'll lower your premiums. If you don't have health insurance, we'll give you the same kind of health insurance that I have as a member of Congress. We'll give small businesses a tax credit to pay 50% of the cost of covering their employees. We'll tell insurance companies no more discriminating against people with pre-existing conditions. Treat everybody right. That's the change we need. Change means giving every child everywhere the skill, the knowledge they need to compete in this global economy. That means investing in early childhood education, recruiting an army of new teachers, giving them higher salaries, giving them more support, and making a deal with every young person in America. If you keep your grades up, if you work hard, if you contribute to community service, we will guarantee you can afford to go to college. Cities can barely borrow right now. They can't just deal with the basic infrastructure improvements they need in the city. So why not? Why not start rebuilding our cities, rebuilding our rural communities, rebuilding our roads and our bridges, laying broadband lines so everybody has access to the internet. We can put 2 million people to work right now, fixing our sewer lines, fixing our water treatment system. And if people tell you we can't afford it, you just remind them we are spending $10 billion a month in Iraq when they've got a budget surplus. Let's spend that money in Philadelphia. Putting people back to work. That's the commitment I make to you. We will end this war in Iraq. And the last thing we need to do is take on the corruption on Wall Street and in Washington. That's right. Make sure a crisis like this never happens. We'll put common sense regulations in place to keep our markets free and fair. Restore accountability, responsibility to our boardroom. And we'll go through the entire federal budget line by line. Eliminate any spending that isn't helping our families. We'll start by ending this war in Iraq. That's right. But we will also eliminate programs that don't work because there's too much need out here. Your tax dollars, if we're going to take some tax dollars from you, then we better spend them wisely. That's right. That's the commitment that I make. Now, I won't pretend, Philly, that this is going to be easy.
We know it's not.
We're going through some tough times right now. And we all need to sacrifice. We all need to pull our own weight. I can't just put more money in the schools. Parents, you got a parent. Fathers, you got a father. You know, we can invest in clean energy, but everybody's going to have to do their part in becoming more energy efficient. Now more than ever, we're all in this together. This country and the dream it represents is being tested in a way that we haven't seen in a long time. But it's a test we can't fail. Not now. Not when we have a crisis to solve and an economy to save. Not when there's so many Americans without jobs and without homes. Not when there are families who can't afford to see a doctor or send their child to college. Not when there's a generation that's counting on us to give them the same opportunities, the same chances we had for ourselves. But we can do it, Philadelphia, because we've done it before. Everybody here, you've got a story, and you've got a history in your family of overcoming. Everybody here has got somebody in their family who, you know, worked hard all their lives, didn't have a lot. And they said to themselves, I may not be able to go to college, but maybe my child will go to college.
That's right. That's right.
I might have to work in a tough job in a dirty factory, but maybe someday my child will have a business of their own. I might not be able to vote, but maybe someday a son or a grandson can run for the United States Senate. We have a history of overcoming Philadelphia. That's what America's about. That's what we're fighting for. And if you will join with me, if you will work with me, and organize with me, and make phone calls with me, and knock on doors with me, I promise you, we won't just win Philadelphia, we'll win Pennsylvania. And you and I together, we are going to change this country, and we are going to change the world. God bless you, everybody.